Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Exodus, the 17th chapter. And as we went through in the 16th chapter, dealing with the the Lord bringing down manna from heaven, to feed Israel as they were complaining, murmuring. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin. After their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord Yahweh, and pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. So going back to the map, they have Rephidim right, Slakia, right down here in the south. Yeah, somewhere more south of where they were in the previous, encampment. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses, and to chide is like a different level than to murmur. This is more like intense back and forth. And said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide ye with me? Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord? So you going back and forth with me? Why are you like, you act like I'm not in here with you? If you thirsty, what you think I got a secret gallon somewhere that I'm drinking of? Like I'm not thirsty too? And basically, why do you keep on tempting the Lord? Because clearly, if the Lord brought you here, because that's what they would always revert back to. Oh, God, this God that you keep telling us, He brought us here to kill us. Oh, you guys led us here for us to die. Is that what it is? But obviously, if that was the case, you wouldn't have been fed when you were hungry. You wouldn't have been. The Lord wouldn't have performed the miracle of parting the sea in half for you to walk on dry land, right? So why do you keep tempting the Lord? As though He doesn't know. Obviously, He's going to preserve you. And why is it a temptation? It's like when you've told your child something and they keep on asking about the same thing, like provoking you. And the people thirsted there for water, and the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? So what is this? Clearly, are you trying to have us die in here? We got our children over here, our cattle, and we don't have any water to drink. What's going on? And Moses cried unto the Lord Yahweh, saying, now, when it says that he cried unto the Lord, right, it does not mean that Moses went there and just started bawling his eyes out. What it means is that he called out to the Lord, right, prayed to the Lord, saying, what shall I do unto these people? They be almost ready to stone me. So they're pretty much at the verge of stoning me with how angry they are because they want water. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod, wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thine hand, and go. So you go ahead of them, you take some of the elders with you, and take your rod in which you've been performing these miracles. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb. And remember, that was where the Lord first appeared to Moses. So he says, you go up ahead, and I'm going to appear before you over there. And thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of that place Massah and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord Yahweh, saying, Is the Lord Yahweh among us or not? So is he here? Is he not? What's going on? Why are we? Does he not see that we're thirsty? Like, you ungrateful. Anyway, let's look into the word Massah and Meribah. Massah or Massah, it says temptation. And then you have here Meribah, Mara Yabai or Yabah is strife or contention. Then came Amalek. So while they were there, right? Where's that? Mount Horeb, or I think they were actually encamped in Rephidim. That you had the Amalekites, as we're about to read. You have your Seir mounts. Okay, so they came up from around this side and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men, and go out, fight with Amalek. So basically, select a good amount of men that know how to fight, warriors, and go and fight with Amalek tomorrow. So that shows you Joshua had to have been one of the, like, a captain, right, at this point. It says here, tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. Now I believe Hur was the husband of Miriam. So let's just take a look here. Hawar, a chief assistant to Moses and Aaron, grandfather of Bezaleel. Let's see. Maybe it doesn't mention it here, but let's see. Let's type it in here. Hur, husband of Miriam. Yeah, it says here, Hur was the husband of Miriam, though the Bible itself doesn't explicitly state this, instead identifying her as a leader alongside Aaron, while rabbinic sources also suggest that he was, okay, that's pretty extreme. But as we read it, my memory might be playing with me, but I think there's a part in there where you can put the pieces together. Though it is in the book of Josephus that's what it says there. So some information for you. Do with it as you see fit. But in any case, we'll go with her being one of the assistants of Moses. It says here, and it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. So as Joshua and the Israelites went to war against the Amalekites, the course of the battle was determined by the positions of Moses' hand, as he held up his hand with his holding the rod, and every time his hand will come down, Amalek will start to win, and every time his hand will go up, Israelites will start to prevail in this battle. But Moses' hands were heavy, because war isn't, when you're battling, that's not a 5 to 10 minute thing. So his hands eventually started to get tired. And they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side, and the other on the other side. So they kept his hands up. And so he wouldn't have to exert energy to do so. They would just hold it up. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. So he basically defeated them. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. So the Lord said, make note of this, okay? Because and that's why when you go to the time of Saul, the Lord told Saul, go and exterminate the Amalekites, because I remember what they did. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi, which when you go into that word, it's not Jehovah. The name of the Lord is Yahweh. But it says here, Yahweh Nasayah, which is Yahweh is my banner, as you get the word Nas, which goes into that. Okay, when you go into that word, something lifted, a standard, a signal, an ensign, a banner. And the Yah would make it my banner. So back where we were, verse 16, for he said, because the Lord Yahweh hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And usually in war, you had your bannermen, which would carry, that flag to show on what side, or who you were. It represented you, right? And so here the Lord was declaring that war with Amalek from generation to generation. And that brings us to the end of the book of Exodus, the 17th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.